morning everyone. I am Ravindra, Faculty of English in the Department of Sciences and Humanities. I welcome you all to the main course of BTech first semester, and today I am going to introduce a new course to you. This is a course which is unique to our university, and the course is English Proficiency and Communication Skills, and generally we call it as EPCS, and its code is 19HS104. Now let us see what are the details of this course. Look at the name of this course, English Proficiency and Communication Skills. Let us discuss this in detail. It is the first word, English. English is a language we know all like any other language of the world, but English has been considered as an international language as the Britishers have spread this language throughout the world, and many people today use this language as a language of link, that is linking between the people of several countries. That's why today we all try to learn English as a second language, and we are trying to acquire certain ability in this language. And the second term of this title is proficiency. What do we mean by proficiency? Proficiency means one's ability to use the language. How to use the language? It is for comprehension as well as for expression. For comprehension of a language, we require two actions to be done. One is listening and the other one is reading. When we read and listen, we understand the language, we receive the language. That is comprehension. And not only that, once when we receive the language, we process it and then will be able to deliver the language. That is expression. We express or we deliver the language in two forms, through speaking and through writing. These are the four major activities that we do with the language, major actions. That is listening, speaking, reading and writing. We call this as LSRW, skills of a language. So once when a person is able to use these four skills of a language, we say that the person is proficient in that language. Now, the other term of this title, English Proficiency and Communication. What do we mean by communication? Communication is either expression or interaction. It is sometimes one way and most of the times it is two way. And communication is either verbal or non-verbal. Verbal communication is something that we say something with the use of words of a language, and the way we use the words, the choice of our words, the volume that we use, the tone, intonation, pitch, these are all something that caters to verbal communication. And then non-verbal communication is the way we appear, the way we give gestures, the way we keep our facial expressions, and the way that we move our hands as gestures and other things. And these components would be there in communication part. And then the last term of this title is skills. What is a skill? Skill is something what we observe, practice and acquire. And English is a language. Proficiency is something, the four types of activities that we do. Communication is something, the words that we use and the gestures and the body language that we use, and these are all something when we see somebody who are using them and we learn about them and we practice them and we too can acquire them. And that's why this is a skill. All this, that whether we have certain inborn genius or whether we acquire it by practice, it's all possible. That's why this English proficiency and communication skills is something that we are going to learn in this semester. And let me give you more details about this. The aim of this course, EPCS, is that it is to enable every student on the campus to speak and write in English comfortably in both academic and non-academic contexts. Look at these words, speak and write, both academic and non-academic. And speaking and writing are something that we express, we deliver, we use the language to communicate. And academic context is a formal context, non-academic context is informal context in our day-to-day life. And in these contexts that we should be able to use English properly, accurately, fluently. What is that we are expecting from the students by the end of this course? And look at this expected learning outcome from EPCS. By the end of 100-hour program, 90% of the students on the campus will be proficient in English and be ready to take an intermediate level English proficiency test by an external certifying agency. Now, some terms that you try to focus now, I'll explain them in detail further. After you acquire certain proficiency in the language, your proficiency is not something you feel. There should be somebody to check that proficiency and give certification to you. That somebody is not as a teacher like me or not the institute where you are studying alone. It is an external certifying agency would conduct an English proficiency test. At what level? An intermediate level. And these are the terms that you need to focus on further. That is, from now onwards that I am going to explain you in detail the meanings of these words. And this is the aim of the course and this is the outcome of the course. By the end of this semester, that 90%, but we have already crossed this 90% that we have drafted in our document. Now let us see, when we are going to approach a course, we will have three basic questions of any course, not only for EPCS. Try to apply this for any course that you are taking up in this semester or any semester. The first question is that why should I take EPCS course? First of all, the basic question, why should I do this? And the second one is, what is there in EPCS course? And the third one is, how do we do EPCS course? Now, my introductory session is to answer you these three basic questions of a course that we have designed in our university. Why should I take the course? What is there in the EPCS course? And how do we do EPCS course? Now, why should I take this course? How long have we been learning English? We all have English as a second language. We have our own mother tongue. Most of us are from Telugu background, Telugu as a mother tongue, and some of us are from Tamil Nadu, some of us are from Orissa, some of us are from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, from different states that you all have come here and working on an engineering course, learning an engineering course. But along with your mother tongue, that is, your mother tongue may not be used to communicate with the student of other tongue. That's why we are all learning since our childhood this English as a second language, and generally we call it as SL. When have we started learning this? Most of us have started this from our pre-KG, lower kindergarten, or some of us have started this at our class 3, and some of us have started this at class 5. And since then, we have been learning English. How long have we been learning? Almost some 10 to 12 years that we have spent in the learning of this second language. And how many years that we have spent in learning our mother tongue? Think of, when you were 1 year old, you were able to utter certain words. And by 3 years, that you were able to express something like your needs, your hunger, your like, your dislike, something you have expressed at the age of 3. And the children were sent to nurseries at the age of 3 and 4. By the time parents have got the assurance from the children that the child can express in the mother tongue. Within 3 or 4 years that you were able to acquire your mother tongue, but in case of second language, we have been spending more than a decade, but still, where are we? What is our confidence level in using English for our day-to-day purposes? In the academic environment, in the classroom, so many subjects that you are studying in English, you are learning, you are memorizing, or you are working on them and writing in the examinations. But when it comes to the real life, in day-to-day life, in your non-academic context, are you communicating in English? Are you confident in communicating in English? Now, let us check. Have we ever compared what is your English language ability in comparison with the students who are learning the same language in other countries? Like Japanese are learning English as a second language, Chinese are learning English as a second language. Like that, so many Asians, Africans, Americans, Europeans, many continents, all through people have been learning, students and people have been learning English as a second language. When we compare, we haven't ever compared, but in future, we are going to be global citizens. Already we are global citizens in the age of internet. And by the end of your graduation and post-graduation, you are going to work in multinational companies where you will have your colleagues from different parts of the world. There you need to communicate with them in an international language. Now it is obviously English. And in comparison with the people of other countries, where do we stand? What is our language proficiency level? We haven't ever tested. And comparison with international standards. Now, this course is going to provide you such an opportunity of verifying ourselves, checking ourselves, standing in the competition or in the pool of the world. Now, let us see what is this standard and what are the levels of proficiency. Internationally, these are the 6 levels which are considered to be the standard levels of language proficiency. They are marked by, the framework is given by Europeans, and this is what we call CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference. And these are the proficiency levels. And beginner level language proficiency, intermediate level language proficiency, advanced level language proficiency. And these are the 6 levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. A1, A2 are considered beginner level language proficiency. Generally, school children who begin learning of a second language are rated, their language proficiency is generally at A1 and A2 level. And B1 and B2 level is intermediate level, that is independent level, that you do not depend on anybody to understand the language or to express in the language. And those are B1, B2 levels, generally preferred for any graduate in the world. By the end of your graduation, that is your BTech course, and when you seek a job or when you want admission in a foreign university, generally many universities and many multinational companies expect any applicant to have the language proficiency, English language proficiency at this B2 level. And mastery of the language will be in these two levels, C1 and C2. Generally, 3000 words of vocabulary will make us communicate in a language. And when you have such reserve of the words, memory of the words and ability to use those words, you will be at this basic level. Now let us see these proficiency levels are explained in this video.
As a language learner or teacher, you may have heard of Common European Framework of Reference, or CEFR. But what is it, and why does it matter for English language learners? It's actually pretty simple. Different learners have different levels of language ability, but opinions about your English level can be subjective. Your friends may think your English is good, but an employer might think it is not good enough, and you may be better at some skills than others. For example, you may be able to read better than you can speak. We need a clear, objective way to describe language skills that everyone can agree on. This is what the CEFR provides. The CEFR breaks down language learning into 6 levels, which it calls A1 to C2. The starting point, A1, describes a very basic language level. As a learner, you can move up the levels until you reach proficiency, C2 level. This is a really advanced level. By describing what you can do in reading, writing, speaking and listening, the CEFR will tell you where you are on the journey from beginner, A1, through to proficiency, C2. There are many Cambridge English exams available for different ages and stages of learning, all matched to CEFR levels, from young learners through to university and the workplace, or simply for travel. The CEFR was developed by the Council of Europe with extensive support from University of Cambridge ESOL examinations. People from all over the world use the CEFR to explain what level of English they are at and what level of English they need. It is used by learners, teachers, universities, governments and employers. The CEFR has been very influential, and not only in Europe. It's been published in more than 35 languages, and descriptions of individual languages have also been developed. Cambridge is a partner in the English Profile Programme, which provides very useful descriptions of English grammar and vocabulary at each level of the CEFR. Understanding your language level will help you to achieve your goal, whether it's going on holiday abroad, studying at school or university, or getting a job. And that's why the CEFR levels are useful for everyone.
Those 6 levels of language proficiency would determine your future, your career, and your opportunity of either getting a job or getting an admission in a foreign university. Now let us see who are the people conducting these examinations to define the language proficiency levels. There are certain popular tests in the world which rate the proficiency of the candidates. The most popular test in the world, English proficiency test in the world, is IELTS, International English Language Testing Service. This is a test conducted for the immigrants, those who come for the job or for residence or for admission in the universities of Europe, America, Australia, Canada. All the students or all the people need to take this test. And the test scores are from 0.5 to 9 band. Generally, 6.5 would be considered as the minimum score required for any candidate. And the next popular test is TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. Most of the American universities, American companies consider this test score as a parameter to select the students or select the employees. The next, the recent one, and now it is being popular, is Pearson's PTE, and that is proficiency test of English. And the next one is EF, English First, that is English Proficiency Index, is online test that anyone can take this. And there is one important feature of this test. Now I am going to explain you. And along with this test, we should also see certain organizations which are conducting these examinations. TOEFL is the test conducted by ETS, Educational Testing Service of America, and PTE is conducted by Pearson Publications, and IELTS is conducted by these three together, that is British Council, IDP, and Cambridge Assessment English. And these organizations are conducting the proficiency test, and based on the scores you get in these examinations, that your chance of getting a job or admission in a foreign university after completion of your graduation would be decided. And as I told you, English Proficiency Index of EF, that every year based on the performance of students in these examinations, they give ranking to the countries. The students' performance from that country would be considered as a parameter, and they give 5 levels. Proficiency, very high proficiency of English, high proficiency of English, moderate proficiency of English, low proficiency, and very low proficiency. So the students, all the students who have taken the examination during that year, their scores are considered and total ranking would be given to a country. Now, where do we stand as Indians in these examinations? Look at, here we are. So, India's rank as per English Proficiency Index Global Ranking of Countries and Regions in 2019, Indian students have shown moderate English language proficiency, and India stands at 34th position out of 100 countries. And we are at moderate proficiency level. And there are so many countries who are performing far better than us. And among these countries, we do not list out where English, the countries like Britain, America, where English is a first language, those countries are not included in this list. These are all the countries where English is being learnt as a second language. And our level of language proficiency is now here. So it shows us the necessity of improving ourselves and to get better chances in the world competition. Now, the first question is answered. Why should we take this course, English Proficiency and Communication Skills? That our English language proficiency need to be compared with other countries, that is the students from other countries, and we have to find our right place on this earth. And now let us see what are the components of this course. What do we have in this EPCS course? In this course, our focus is on LSRW skills. Just now I explained you that listening, speaking, reading and writing are the 4 areas where we need to show our ability in using them. And here these are the 4: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Now let us see the other components. Retrieving basic language form and function. You have learnt language forms and language functions, how a sentence structure would be and in which context that we use this particular sentence. And those forms and functions of the language that we are going to retrieve, already we have learned for a decade and now we are going to consolidate them. Consolidating from previous learning experiences. So far you have seen English textbooks as poetry part, prose part, non-detailed part, grammar part. And now let us put together. Those are all something consciously or unconsciously are stored in our brain. I do not say that what you have learned for a decade is useless. It is all worthwhile, but we do not know how much that we have learned. What is the use of various parts that we have learned? How to connect one part to the other part? Now, let us consolidate all that and put together for practical use. And we are going to communicate in the real life context. And we are going to create certain tasks, activities, and we give opportunities for you to use your English in our real life context in this course. And we are now going to meet the standards of the world. That is, what are considered to be as parameters for our language proficiency, we are going to see and we are going to meet them. And in this process, what is that Vignans University is doing? And to make the students globally competent, that Vignans University is joining hands with the universities across the globe. And for our English language proficiency and our communication skills, we are also taking a lead, a step to provide all the facilities to our students. And Vignans University in this context is now having MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with Cambridge Assessment English. This Cambridge Assessment English is a part of Cambridge University, London. And we have a Memorandum of Understanding between these 2 universities. And what is that we are going to get out of this joining, out of this MOU? Here, VFSTR, Vignans Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, is now a Cambridge Exam Preparation Center. We have seen that Cambridge Assessment English is conducting various English qualifications examinations and they are also conducting IELTS examination. And now VFSTR is a Cambridge Exam Preparation Center. Not only that, we have got another high position, the only authorized exam center for conducting Cambridge examinations. Vignan is the only center for conducting Cambridge examinations in both states, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, that we are the only authorized center to conduct the examinations. And another important benefit for all of us is that VFSTR has got the faculty who have been trained by Cambridge experts, and the faculty are trained and we are the examiners for assessing the performance of the students. And these are the advantages that we have got from our MOU with Cambridge Assessment English. Now, this is what we have in our EPCS course. Now, how do we do this course? Here the instruction is task based. You are given activities and you are made to involve into those activities, and those activities will give you chances of using English freely and confidently. And we are using Cambridge official preparation material, and this is the Cambridge official preparation material, and Objective PET is the book that we are using here. And we are approaching scientifically towards the 4 language skills, LSRW skills. So far you have read, you have listened to, you have written English in the examinations, and you have spoken English. But your listening ability is not tested and your spoken ability is not tested. Just your reading ability is tested in the form of reading comprehensions alone. But now we are approaching scientifically towards these 4 skills, that all 4 skills are given equal weightage in both training and testing and in assessment. And the special focus would be given on the negligent skills so far. Listening and speaking, we are doing it and they are primary skills, and we took it for granted but never been tested, and they are given more priority in our training. And we'll provide you a lot of mock tests to prepare confidently, to prepare and take the test confidently. Now, this is the formula that we are going to use in this context. So far, we have learnt a lot of vocabulary and we have learnt a lot of grammar. We have learnt certain pronunciation which will be focused once again, and this is what we are familiar with. But though you have learnt it long before, now we are going to retrieve them. We are going to consolidate our learning and put them into a flow state. Flow state means you make an attempt to use them, and consolidating and bringing them together and starting using them for this achievement. We should be able to speak, able to listen, able to write, and able to read. And these 4 skills are the output from what we have learned so far. And this processing is now going to be done in our EPCS course. And this is a formula that we are going to use. And what Cambridge examinations that we are going to conduct in our VFSTR? We plan for B1 level preliminary English test, and we call this as PET. Preliminary English test for first BTech students. You are all first BTech students now. And by the end of first semester, one part of BTech students will have this course, and by the end of second semester, another part of BTech students will have this test. And both the streams of first BTech would be given this preliminary English test in both the semesters. And B1 business preliminary, we call this as BEC, Business English Certification, that is offered for first BBA students. This is offered to first BBA students as they belong to the management courses. And the next one, B2 level business vantage examination would be given to third year BTech students and MBA students. And as I told you that B1 and B2 level. B1 is a level where a student has basic concepts of English language, the knowledge of basic concepts. And B2 level is an upper intermediate level where a student is more independent in the use of language in different contexts. And that B2 level language proficiency test would be given to you, the BTech students, in the third year. So, in the first year, you are taking preliminary English test, and in the third year, you are taking business vantage, and the first year test is at B1 level, and the third year test is at B2 level. And we are also giving the VFSTR. I told you that we are the authorized exam center for conducting Cambridge examinations, and we are conducting A1 and A2 level examinations even for the students of various schools in this state. Now you will find a clear picture of where do we stand in the international scenario of English language proficiency. I told you that A1, pre-A1 level, A1, A2, these two are basic level tests. These two are basic level tests, and B1, B2 are independent level tests, C1, C2 are proficient level tests. And once when the examination has been conducted, a student's marks ranging from 140 to 160 would be at B1 level, 160 to 180 would be at B2 level, and that B1 is this test that we are taking at the B1 level, B1 preliminary, and at business vantage at the third year we are going to take the B2 level test, and its equivalent score of IELTS examination is also shown. And this is the plan that we have for making our students eligible for international competition. Now let us watch this video which clearly explains you the scale of Cambridge, various marks ranges and its use.
The Cambridge English Scale is the new and enhanced way we will be reporting results for some of our exams from 2015. It builds on the way we currently report results and is based on many years of research. It will provide simpler, clearer and more detailed results. What is the Cambridge English Scale? The Cambridge English Scale is a range of scores used to report results for Cambridge English exams. You may be familiar with the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or CEFR. It is the international standard for describing ability in languages, and is a broad reference scale of language proficiency. The Cambridge English Scale is designed to complement the CEFR. The difference is that the scale gives a more detailed result than the CEFR alone. See how both of these candidates are at level B2, but their scores on the scale show that one has a higher level of English than the other. Results for almost all Cambridge English exams will be reported on the Cambridge English Scale, starting with Cambridge English First, including First for Schools, Cambridge English Advanced, and Cambridge English Proficiency. IELTS is mapped to, but will not be reported on the Cambridge English Scale. Our exams are focused on different levels of the CEFR, and they are mapped to particular points on the scale. No matter which exam is taken, the same level of ability as represented by the same score. So, a candidate who scores 185, taking Cambridge English First, would be expected to achieve 185 in Cambridge English Advanced. This will make results easier to understand. It will also be clear to see how a learner progresses through our exams. How does it work? Scores on the Cambridge English scale replace the standardised score and the candidate profile. Candidates receive an overall score on the Cambridge English scale, which determines the grade and CEFR level they obtain. Candidates also receive scores for each language skill they are tested on: reading, writing, speaking and listening, and use of English. Looking at the new statement of results, you can see what the candidate has achieved in each of the different skills, and how their performance in one skill compares to performance in another. These detailed results make it simple to describe the level of language skills needed for university admission or employment. Candidates and teachers also benefit from having better information about performance, making it easier to identify areas for improvement. Want to know more? The Cambridge English Scale is based on our extensive research and has been developed in response to feedback from users of our exams. To find out more, go to cambridgeenglish.org/Cambridge English Scale.
You have watched this video and have seen various levels of language proficiency and how the scale is increasing from lower level to higher level and what are the tests at those levels. Now, as I told you that for the first BTech students that we are giving training for appearing preliminary English test. Let us see what are the reasons for choosing this particular level test. This level would develop your ability to communicate in English for practical tasks and situations, and that test would give you a chance of using your English in the practical context. Next, gain a valuable qualification that is acceptable worldwide. B1 is a intermediate level language proficiency, as I told you in the expected learning outcome of this course, and improves your work, study and travel prospects. That is work, employability, study is getting admission in the foreign universities, and if you want to travel even for certain countries where you need to communicate with the local people, you should have certain language ability. And all these abilities are certified at this B1 level, and that's why we are choosing B1 level preliminary test for first BTech students. And watch this video that will explain you clearly of why we have to take B1 level test and what are the advantages of this test.
B1 Preliminary and B1 Preliminary for Schools is an intermediate level qualification that shows students have mastered the basics of English. At B1 Preliminary for Schools level, learners will improve their fluency and be able to watch TV in English. They will be able to agree or disagree and discuss alternative plans with their friends.
I don't agree with you. I think it will be faster getting to town by train than by bus.
Students will also learn how to express their preferences.
Do you prefer to go on trips with your family or friends? I prefer going on trips with my friends because they are more fun than my parents. How about you?
After taking B1 Preliminary for Schools, students can go on to improve their English further by preparing for B2 First for Schools. At this level, they will learn how to express their opinion and will have the language skills they need to travel and work in an English-speaking country. Cambridge English qualifications help students develop their English language skills step by step. They help learners prove their skills to the world and lay the foundations for their future success.
Now, what do we get by the end of this course? By the end of EPCS course, you are appearing for Cambridge Preliminary English Test, and the test result would directly come to the mails of the candidates who take this test. And your performance would be given to you in this way, that your name and your total score of the test and the level that you have got, that is your language proficiency level, would be indicated. And not only that, in each skill, in reading, writing, listening, speaking, where do you stand? Those bars would show that your level of language proficiency in each of these skills. The average of these 4 skills would be given to your total score. And this score sheet would be directly sent to the mails of the students by Cambridge English Language Assessment. And after that, as a center for conducting Cambridge examinations, that we receive the printed certificate from the Cambridge with the name of the student and the scores mentioned in the certificate, that you receive Cambridge certification for your English language proficiency. And this is the B1 level certificate, preliminary, and similarly you will receive a certificate at B2 level in the 3rd year of engineering. Now, let us sum up what is the significance of this EPCS course that is specially designed for the students of Vignans University. It is a unique course. You do not find this type of course in any of the engineering colleges or in any other deemed universities. And the unique course is our EPCS, and its value addition is the Cambridge PET certification. So a course is like a training for appearing a Cambridge examination, and you are going to have an international certification for English language proficiency. And this course will enhance your confidence levels and your communication skills. And it is a globally recognized certification, and wherever any MNC or any university can consider this certification as a valid certification of your abilities. And your employability and your admission prospects would be better with this type of language certification. In addition to your engineering percentages or CGPA, your admission in any university would be decided by your scores in IELTS, TOEFL examinations, and this is a first step that you lay towards such major and popular examinations. And this is what we explain you regarding our new course in Vignans University, EPCS, English Proficiency and Communication Skills. I hope you can understand the significance of this course and the efforts put by the university and the faculty of English to make our students more proficient in English language and to provide a certification to their abilities, that you understand this importance and try to make use of this opportunity and try to perform well in this course. I wish all the best for EPCS course. Thank you.